Welcome back to the Why So Serious podcast. Brandon, Mike, and Devin are back for another review, and we're joined by Jason Whitlock today. My bad. We're joined by Rashanii.
I can leave. I can leave right now.
From the single simulcast. And we are here, as you can tell by the theme song, to review Us, directed by Jordan Peele. A family's serenity turns to chaos when a group of doppelgangers begins to terrorize them. This was starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, and some acting as kids. So, you know what? I'm going to do this. So, Rashanii, what did you think of this movie?
So, I just want to say, before I begin this review,
welcome back.
To quote,
welcome.
Thank you. It's great to once again be in the house of the Lord. And I agree, Brandon, you are an absolutely top-notch A1 amazing podcaster. The steps you've taken throughout the time that I've met you have been consistently amazing, and I'm just super proud of you. With that said, I just want to start this off by quoting the ever so popular Notorious B.I.G. and 50 Cent's Realest Niggas song. In that I love niggas. I love niggas because niggas are me. I don't want y'all to think that I don't like black people. I don't want y'all to think I voted for Trump. I don't want y'all to think I support Jason Whitlock.
That's the big one right there, Whitlock.
It's important. I don't even listen to Daniel Caesar.
Oh shit.
But I didn't like Us. I didn't like Us at all. Okay. I mean, let me get that straight. Let me be real with you. I loved the acting. Lupita's always amazing.
Oh my God.
Lupita could stand in a paper bag and get an Oscar for it. And Winston Duke, the dad jokes were off the hook. He's like the greatest. Like there's parts where I was just like, yeah, that's funny. That's funny right there. Because he reminded me of me. He pulled off some jokes that I would pull off during basketball practice. And the whole when he was scared, so he put the bass in his voice while he was talking. That was cool, too. I like that because I would have done that in a real-life situation. Remind me to tell y'all the story about the balloon. Okay. But
I feel like you should go ahead and do it now.
Okay, here's the story about the balloon. When my beloved wife, Nisha, and I lived in a much worse neighborhood, and she was pregnant with our youngest son, Kid Awesome, we lived in a much worse neighborhood, like a much worse neighborhood, subsequently as where she grew up. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. But we were in our room one night, and we had just finished having a nice night watching TV or whatever downstairs. There wasn't much to do. We were broke. So we watched TV, and we came upstairs to go to bed. And one of the kids had a helium balloon that was floating around the room, and it was nice and quiet. And Nisha and I were watching TV and just loving the company and everything. And she started falling asleep, which she's prone to do, being pregnant and beautiful and tired, and it was late at night. So we went upstairs to go to bed. The downstairs, to picture it, has a ceiling fan, a kitchen, and a back door that doesn't have a lock. That's how ghetto this house is. It doesn't have the sliding glass door literally you couldn't lock the back door. Like, it was impossible. The sliding glass door was just whoever the hell wants to come in. The door is open. There's no way to fix that. It's just a sliding glass door. So we had a stick in the door, but I never remembered if I put the stick into the door. Bad neighborhood. So we go upstairs and we're laying in bed and Nisha's asleep and she's looking all beautiful and stuff. And I'm watching her till I fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I literally hear, again, bad neighborhood. I'm like, what, 25, 26. Nisha's like 26. And I look at Nisha and I'm like, did you hear that? And she said, did I hear what? Because she was asleep. I actually woke her up to ask if she heard something, which is a shitty thing to do. But she said, no, I didn't hear anything, and goes back to sleep. And I try and go back to sleep too. Another 10 minutes pass. Everything's cool. I'm starting to fall back to sleep. I'm like, you know you heard that. Don't even try and play like you didn't hear that. And she was like, hear what? And I said, there's somebody downstairs. And she's like, well, go downstairs and investigate to see what's going on. And I was like, fuck you. You go investigate to see what's going on. Not my proudest moment. I was 26 in a bad neighborhood, and I just knew niggas was breaking in the back door of my house because I had an Xbox 360 and Halo. I had Halo 3. That was important. People would kill me for Halo 3. That's how I imagined it. So she was like, go downstairs and check and see what's going on. I was like, you go downstairs. She was like, I'm pregnant. I was like, I provide. I didn't. She did. It was all fucked up. It was a horrible time for the Empire. Bottom line is she told me to go downstairs and look, and I refused. So I Rambo crawled from my room into my daughter's room because she had this phone. And I Rambo crawled into her room to grab the phone, and Rambo crawled back into my room, scared that the was going to come upstairs and kill me. And after I Rambo crawled into my room, I called the police. And the police were like, hey, 911, how can we be of assistance? And I was like, there's somebody in my house. And they were like, how do you know somebody's in your house? And I was like, I heard the bumble and all that, and there's no lock on my back door. We live in a bad neighborhood. And they were like, well, go downstairs and check. And I was like, fuck you. You go downstairs and check. It's your job. So they were like, all right, just sit tight. We're going to send somebody over to check out the situation. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I still am sitting upstairs. I've Rambo crawled into my daughter's room, and I Rambo crawled back, and now I'm sitting on my bed next to my wife, who's looking at me like I'm growing horns. And the police come, and they knock on the door. And I'm like, the door's unlocked. Come in. And they're like, you have to open the door and let us in, sir. And I'm like, I'm not coming down there in case whoever's down there is still down there. Kick the door down. I'll pay for it later. So they don't kick the door down. I Rambo crawl down the stairs and open up the door. And the police come in. And they come in with guns drawn. In all honesty, I could have been shot. Bad neighborhood. And they're like, what did you hear? And I'm like, I hear a boom, boom, boom. And I didn't want to come downstairs because my wife is pregnant. And they were like, why didn't you come downstairs? And I said, because my wife is pregnant. And they just looked at me like I was a coward too. And I was like, fuck you, stick to the point. And so they said, we're going to do a cursory search of your house. And I was like, all right, cool. You're going to find what I found. Somebody's crazy running around my house. And they did a search. The back door wasn't locked. But there was nobody in my house. And they walked throughout the house. They walked into the garage and everything. And I was like, well, the dude must have heard y'all came in and ran out the back door, and he's gone. And they were looking at me like I'm a nitwit. And I was looking at them like, why don't y'all believe me? So they leave, and I'm sitting down on the couch downstairs. My wife is sitting next to me, and I'm saying over and over again, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I know I heard something. I'm not crazy. And she's like, yeah, I heard it too. But she's looking at me still out the corner of her eye. Like she wants to say something, like, but she's just like, I'm tired, forget it, let's go back to bed. So we go back to bed. Get back in bed, I'm laying there, she's asleep again, and right as I'm about to fall asleep, the fuck? I'm like, he came back. And my wife was like, why don't you go downstairs and look? And I said, nah, what I want you to do, there's a window right there. It leads to a roofed ledge that like there's a ledge. You open up the window and climb out the window and roll and then hang off the edge and drop down and go get help. I'm going to stay up here and protect the kids. She wouldn't do that. So I called the police again. Rambo crawled back in there, got the phone,
again.
called the police again. Police were like, "Wait, weren't we just there a few seconds ago?" I was like, "Yeah, but he came back." They're like, "How do you know it was a he?" I was like, "I don't, but we'll be sure when you get here."
Okay.
So they came back. This time they brought a helicopter. They have a helicopter over my house with the light flashing over my house, like the bright flashlight, helicopter light is right over my house. You can hear the thump, thump, thump. For those of y'all who don't know, a helicopter is not cheap.
I was about to say, you use all the taxpayers' resources right now. All taxpayers.
Exactly. And my wife didn't crawl out the window like I asked her to. She's still looking at me like I'm a punk because I told her to crawl out the window and drop the safety. And she was like, "You're supposed to be my safety." And I'm like, "No, the fuck I'm not. I'm 26. So they come back in. Rambo crawled back down the stairs and let them in. And they walk around the house. And they still don't see anything. And this time they're ready to arrest me for making false reports. They think I'm just fucking with them, playing on the phone.
Absolutely. I'm with them.
And I'm like, if I'm playing on the phone, I wouldn't have Rambo crawled down the fucking stairs. So I'm adamant. I'm like, there's somebody in my house.
Okay.
And they're like, there's nobody here, sir. And if you call us again, we're going to arrest you for making a false report.
As well as
and I was like, all right, next time you come by, it's going to be because of a murder. Because whoever's here is still here. They just went out the back door and y'all won't go check. And they were like, there's a helicopter light over the house. Who would have saw them hitting the fence? So they left. And I'm sitting there again downstairs saying, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. While I'm sitting downstairs saying, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, my wife is no longer agreeing with me. I hear, while I'm downstairs, and this time I'm really freaking out, like, what the fuck? And then I hear it again. Now remember, there's a ceiling fan. And there's a helium balloon. And the helium balloon around the house. The fan was drawing the balloon towards it because it's a reverse going in reverse direction, so it's drawing things towards it instead of away from it. And every time the fan drew the balloon into it, it would go. I called the police and had them send a helicopter and told my wife to jump out of a window and save herself. And Rambo crawled into my daughter's room, and Rambo crawled down the stairs and cussed out the police because of a balloon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, and if you'd have told that story on Twitter, you'd have been canceled for calling the police.
So I understand, Winston. Like, if you want to get, what, y'all ain't going to leave here? Like, I understand that. He did much better than I did because I wouldn't even have gone outside.
Sounds like you like the movie.
No.
Sounds like you could relate, though.
Sounds like you can.
I could relate to that part, but no.
Sounds like you like the movie.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this movie. Wait, shouldn't y'all ask each other what you think about it before I knock it to pieces?
Yeah, we're gonna get. I was gonna let you get it all out so we could prove you
Okay,
wrong.
so here's the thing. Like I said, acting was wonderful. Lupita did a wonderful job. Winston did a wonderful job. Fuck those white people. The kids did a wonderful job. I don't know, Elizabeth Moss, whatever. I didn't see it. I didn't see anything. They just seemed like white people to me. But Lupita and Winston did a wonderful job with their tethers and all, with their shadows and all that kind of stuff. The kids did a wonderful job and all that good stuff. But there was no story. And there were plot holes.
Oh.
Okay.
And the plot holes were so big that I just couldn't.
We'll get to that because I think I can fill them in for you. We'll get to that. All right, Mike, what'd you think?
See, but I shouldn't have to have them filled in.
I think you might have missed them.
I agree with you because Brandon helped me a lot.
My wife and Devin walked out and they were like, I'm confused. I don't understand what happened. And I think what happened was that it was so straightforward that people missed stuff because it wasn't very subliminal. Because you see all these think pieces. This is another thing pissing me off. You see all these articles like these things that you missed from us, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't Inception. Like,
no,
this was very straightforward. Mike, what'd you think about this film?
I don't like horror movies. I didn't sleep last night. I drew a picture of Iron Man instead. Actually, it was very good though. It was several hours of that. So I came home. And I watched 2 episodes of The Umbrella Academy, and then I still could, then everyone left me and went to bed. And I was like, shit, I'm going to die. I started thinking of ways how I would kill my evil self. I've come up with 3 possibilities.
Okay.
1, I'm just I'm this good in real life. I can only imagine how good the evil me would be. I would be dead before I even knew he was a thing. 2, we lock in eternal combat like Batman and Captain America forever, and the winner would be old age. 3, I would kill him because I'm the best. But then I couldn't sleep, so I drew a picture of Iron Man. It's very good, I think. For terrified me. And then I went to bed at like 6 a.m. after the sun rose, and went to work at like 11.
You didn't answer the fucking question. What'd you think of the film?
I thought that well covered. But I mean, so I don't see very many horror movies, so this I don't have very much to go off of. But I liked it. I thought it was clever. I have a problem in horror movies when people do dumb stuff. Like, for example, when the daughter is getting chased by the evil daughter, and they're like around the car. And the girl drops and does something under, it looks like she goes under the car. Don't fucking bend down and look under the car. You just turn around. Why would you do that? You just turn around and run away. There's not a lot of that in this movie, but it happened a few times, so that bothers me. But other than that, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was well put together. I think I understood the subliminal message that I know Brandon doesn't believe me, and I may be wrong, but we'll see we'll talk about that later. But I did enjoy the film. Right. And I don't like horror movies, but it was pretty good.
Okay, good. Devin, what about you?
I scare easily.
I thought the movie definitely shadowed the genre for what we think scary movies or horror movies are supposed to be. There were some messages in there that were great. I was kind of just, where's this going after a while, because I stopped trying to figure it out and just went along for the ride, and I was pleasantly surprised about how it ended, and then the gaps Brandon filled in for me were great. So I just enjoyed it as a movie overall, and it shouldn't be put in the genre of scary movie, but it's good.
I liked the movie a whole lot. It wasn't a perfect film, but it was really well done. I thought that he didn't try to get too much into. It wasn't like Get Out, where it was like all. They had some messages on socio-economical issues, but it wasn't like all these different things that Get Out was, and that's fine. He's making different movies. I thought Lupita was unbelievable in this film. She basically had to play like many versions of herself in different situations, which was really, really incredible. And they told a good story, and I'm interested to see where they go from here, because I saw him do an interview and said that he already has a script written about the tether and how that took place and how they were able to do the duplicates in that whole process and going back to the Us universe. So this film's making a lot of money, so we'll see if he makes something like that. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, let's go back to Rashanii. So Rashanii, okay, so you said you had some plot holes, so let's start with that. Okay, let's start with that part of you not liking the film. What were some of the plot holes that you thought were in this film?
What are you? We're Americans.
What? Yeah, we're Americans.
What was
that supposed to feed into? Like,
okay.
I realize that you're saying that. No, wait. Before you. Okay, let me, Professor. Wait, I haven't.
That's catching on. I like it.
Sorry.
Now, I realize that it's supposed to be a look at the social economic classes, the different way that we treat the richer and the poor, blah, 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 whatever. I just wanted to see a scary movie, bro. I mean, I know that after Get Out, we were all like surprised about how it worked out in Get Out and all that good stuff, but I can't be the only one who walked away from this movie feeling like Jordan Peele, M. Night Shyamalan, this movie. Like The Sixth Sense was a phenomenal movie, but then his next movie that he came out with wasn't as strong. And it was okay, it just wasn't as strong. But we were all like, oh, that was so great, because nobody wanted to say they didn't understand what the fuck was going on. And I shouldn't have to read an article to figure out what other people think happened. I shouldn't have to walk out of a horror movie and be like, I think that this is what he was talking about. I didn't like the dad, not Winston Duke, but like the dude who played in the Get Down. I didn't like him. I thought that they made him.
Yeah. Wait, what? Who?
The dude who played in the Get Down.
Mike doesn't know the Get Down.
It's a black show about on Netflix about hip hop and breakdancing from the 80s. It's really cool, but they only did one good season, and the second season went off the rails.
On My Block is coming back. Side note, On My Block is coming back.
Looking forward to it. Oh, that show is amazing.
Really yeah.
Please let Rudy be okay, or whatever.
Ruby,
yeah, I think Ruby. Please let Ruby be okay. It's been a while since I saw that show. But what else? I didn't like the ways that they had. Winston Duke was an idiot. Like I said, he was a great dad joke dude, but I feel
like he was supposed to be an idiot. Not an idiot. Like
he was useless.
Like I think
that was the point, though.
I think he's supposed to be. I think very much like it was supposed. They were trying to get a point that Lupita is very much the like. All right, I'm gonna put the pants on and beat the shit out of all these demon things. But that's what I mean. I feel like I agree with you on some senses.
Kill numbers, though.
Like I agree with you in different scenes. Like the scene when the family comes, like when they're all 8 of them are sitting in the house. Mm-hmm. Like, just murder them. That's what you want to do. I don't know why you're trying to draw this out. They're not smart.
No,
I mean, the mom is kind of...
They weren't trying to murder them. That was the point. I thought... Like, this is the funny thing about me. So I get where Rashani's coming from. Totally. But the problem with that argument with me personally is that I didn't have... Like, I was able to pick this up immediately leaving the theater. I've been complaining since the movie came out about all these articles because I can't believe people watched this movie and didn't, like, it's so fascinating to me that people watched this movie and didn't get it from both perspectives.
They were trying to kill him. Winston Duke's character and the daughter was trying to kill him.
That was, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she sent them after him. He was in a body bag.
That is not what happened. Yes, they were trying to, okay. So, Red or Adelaide we found out who she was trying to kill some of the characters. She wasn't trying to kill all of the characters, and she wanted to prove a point in what she was doing. When I watched this movie, so one thing I heard people say is that like the twist came out of nowhere, and I'm like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't.
That twist was.
That twist did not come out of it. I got that twist early.
The twist was in the commercial.
Yeah.
Like, the twist was you knew, like, you could figure out that she got swapped. Like, immediately after she got swapped, when the little girl wasn't talking, I leaned over to Brandy and was like, oh, she got swapped. Like, because it was very clear. Now, the parts about Mike was talking about with, like, why didn't he kill the family, her whole thing was, so the whole point of this movie, and Rashanii was right, like, it was about class, but the real part of the movie was basically, it was about privilege. And it was basically the story of, that he used the doppelgangers as an allegory for people who don't come from privilege. And he basically just said, like, the difference between somebody who's successful and somebody who's unsuccessful is generally luck and privilege. And if you take somebody who didn't grow up in a good home with a good family and go to a good school, and you take that same person and you put them with a good family with decent money and go to a good school, they're likely to become just as successful as the person who did it. And if you swap that person who was in a good school and you put them in the bad neighborhood with the bad family and the bad school, they're going to be a product of their environment.
I thought the tethered represented the portion of America or people that no one, quote, I don't want to say no one cares about, but that no one pays, or is it people in their ignorance are not, like, just don't pay attention to or don't care about, or it's not there.
Yes, but that's the intersection, because people don't care about.
They don't care about poor people.
They don't care about those people who don't come from privilege. We don't care about those people, and so the reason why they had to switch, like the whole point of the twist of switching them was to prove that point, was to say that this girl who grew up underground in the tether where they ate rabbits alive, and they were basically.
I didn't
savages.
Get the rabbit thing either. I didn't get that very much. The rabbits.
The rabbit thing was basically the. Okay, so this is the part where he could have explained it more, but he just didn't have the time to. But I thought it was pretty implied. it was pretty much applied to me that they were cloning rabbits before they could clone people.
Right.
And so they had all these rabbits underground. And once they figured out how to clone people, that's what the people down there ate.
Yeah, that's all they had to eat.
And so they ate all those rabbits. That's why it was all those rabbits down there.
Okay, I didn't get that. I was the reason I think like I see the underlying themes that you're talking about, but the central theme to the movie, or the recurring theme, was that 11-11 thing, which popped up like 8 times. I mean, the baseball game, the kid pointed out on the clock twice at the beginning and the end, and that Bible verse, which I had to look up after the movie.
Did you have it?
Yeah, I have it right here. I had a feeling it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them." So, like, they kind of did want to kill. That's where I get they wanted to punish them. This is their revenge for not paying attention. This is their revenge for not knowing I exist, for not paying attention to me. They deserve this, and no one is going to help them.
But they wanted to exist, so they just wanted to their day in the light. That's what they.
Yes, and they did the Hands Across America because that was the
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
that's the part I didn't get.
I thought that was them. I thought that was the tethered being like, we could be you, we could be better than you, or we could,
And the first thing they do is something from 1986.
No,
86.
The reason why.
Go
ahead.
That was stupid. That was stupid. That was the dumbest ending I ever saw in my entire life. And I watched Superfly.
No,
now,
this was
no.
You are not going to hate on Snow Patrol.
No, I am not going to let you do this right now, Rashanii. That ending was not worse than Superfly. Get out of here with that bullshit. Fuck that. No, I see. That's another thing. I thought it made perfect sense. That was the last thing she saw on television before she got swapped. She was watching the commercials and she saw the beach and she saw the fucking Hands Across America. And to me, it was basically she thought that was a performative action, a style of protest that people could see in the world that they have no way of not paying attention to it. And so,
hey everybody, I'm sorry. Hey everybody.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Why do you have
she
a
didn't lose
different
your
voice?
voice. She haven't used her vocal
What
voice.
are you talking about? Why does she have a different voice?
Because she got choked out, I guess.
Because she went underground where no one. Okay, so we as people learn how to talk by being in an environment around people talking. And so if you go somewhere where no one knows how to talk and you don't talk, because there's no point in talking because
you use your vocal cords.
You're not going to use your vocal cords. They're going to go bad. So she was under there for years and years and years and not talking to anybody.
Yeah, that does make sense. That's my bad. I didn't see that. Also, the laugh that she did was terrifying, I thought.
That was scary.
That
was a creepy ass laugh.
What we're going to do is I want you to somehow, I want you to come up right underneath the people who actually are your double.
Find them somehow.
Somehow, because we're all coming out of the same little maze area in Santa Cruz. Somehow, come up and kill your doppelganger.
So
that's
no.
He's kind of on something.
Hold on, Rashanii.
And then stop. And then after you find them for some reason, hold hands.
Hold on. They did not come out of the same hole. Like they explained that at the beginning of the film.
There's tunnels all over America.
He said there's tunnels.
Oh, yeah, they did say that.
And abandoned shafts and stuff all across America that aren't used. So he's basically
only an
alluding
American
to
thing? Like, is the rest of the world good?
Yeah, he's basically alluded to the government.
So one of the tunnels led to this fun house?
No.
That
was just one part of the whole. This whole thing was done all across America.
This is a plan, yes.
It was just
no. So do they have phones? Do they have phones down there?
God.
Did they send a carrier rabbit? Like how'd she get the information to everybody?
Here's the thing that bothered me the most, and I don't think anyone's paying attention to. Some of the tethered were controlled sort of by their counterparts, like
exactly,
the
like
kid.
Pluto and the little boy.
So if you're gonna go make the argument that the humans on the surface are the ones controlling it, then the one that was switched whatever she was doing, the doppelganger on the surface should have been affected by that, but
No,
she wasn't, or vice versa.
They explained that in the movie too.
It's different.
It's some impossible white man shit. But they said in the movie one girl was special.
Yeah,
they said
That's dumb.
it's because she was
What
trying
are you
to
talking
get.
about? That's every
Yo,
movie that
if
we
you
see.
get body snatched, you're motivated to fucking get back to the surface. Like
That's every movie that we see. When you go watch
Okay, but
Freddy-
how is she organizing this whole thing?
who
with her
the fuck
doppelganger
knows
with the
she's
family?
motivated to get back?
Okay, so I didn't know y'all were gonna do this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
No,
didn't know
I
you-
liked the movie. I'm just
No, I
No,
didn't know you were
I-
gonna do.
I appreciate Rashanii for this one.
I'm gonna karate kick holster this whole
I
story
really,
because, like I said,
really
there's
do
plot
appreciate
holes.
this because
How
you
did
can-
they get this
you
whole
can
thing
do that
started?
with-
How
you can
look?
do that with
I
any
realized
movie.
there's underground tunnels, and it went all the way across America. But if I have my entire life underground and I can't talk because nobody else is talking,
She can
how
write.
am I
No,
communicating
but
this plan?
But no, they explained that. They explained that the language, those grunts and growls, were a language that they spoke to each other. Because remember when the doppelganger with Winston Duke was on the boat and they were growling, he was, and then he heard him, and then he started growling back in different ways.
They were able to communicate.
They explained that they were able to communicate through those growls, just like any other animal doesn't communicate without speaking English. They basically developed their own way of communicating.
I didn't think we were gonna have to do this. I
Like
really
that was
didn't.
explained in the movie.
Right.
I
Look.
like the movie. I'm just saying.
No,
I
we're
think
not. We're not
there's
talking
some
about
I
like
don't
points-
care
what you're
if you don't
missing.
like
Yeah.
the movie. That's why Rashanii
No, I did, but I
knows
was
what he's
confused
talking
about
about.
it.
Y'all knew what y'all were getting when I came back
That's
on
why
this
I
show.
wanted you on here.
Well, hold on. I just needed some things clarified, which I think we've done a pretty
Mike,
good job.
you're not. We understand you like the movie. It's just that we
No,
didn't understand
but you
didn't
guys aren't
understand.
alone. I've seen this all over the place, and
Yo,
I'm just
it's
shocked.
just like I
because
said, and this isn't. This is what the movie came out on Thursday. I think I went and saw it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's now Tuesday. There's been 4 or 5 days of think pieces on this by now. When I went into that movie theater and sat down next to some punk ass motherfucker who must have saw Get Out and heard other people talking through Get Out because Get Out was that kind of movie and thought, I'm going to do this the next time Jordan Peele makes a movie. But he was a misogynist fuck who kept talking about how they needed to double tap bitches. Kill that bitch. Double tap that bitch. You better hit that bitch to the point where I wanted to stop him and say, hey, yo, when you say bitch, are you referring to the women? Are you just a massage? Are you just referring to everybody in general? Because everything was, go back in there and shoot that bitch again. You better check that bitch. You better do this to that bitch. And then one of the white people in the audience nervously laughed. And this fucker didn't pick up the idea that it was a nervous laugh, like shut the fuck up. And so he gained courage and was talking all the way through the movie. So not only did I probably miss some shit because I had to listen to this dude sitting 2 seats away from me talking loudly about how that bitch deserved that shit. But the parts that I saw, the more I slept, or the more that I watched, it didn't. I'm going to say it again. Lupita, if she can get an Oscar for this, they're going to give it to her because she did excellently. Winston, both sides, even though he was grunting on one side, did excellently. The little girl did excellently.
That little boy was everything.
No,
That little boy.
the first little girl was really good. The
Yes.
young
Yeah.
Lupita was really good.
She made me believe she was traumatized and not
Yes, very
snatched.
much so. But it's just like there were so many questions that I had, and I still have them. And since you have the answers, fucking, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're not the only one. Like I wish I'd have saw it twice. Like a lot of people, are like I gotta go see it twice.
I gotta see it again.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it twice. I just kind
I
of.
don't.
I haven't read a single think piece. I just kind of picked up on these things. I'm not even like it's not even a humble brag or anything like that. It's just when I watched the film. No, when I watched the film. No. What I'm saying is, when I was shocked when I got on Twitter the next morning, and I saw all these people saying like, "Oh, I got to go see this film twice. It was so much in this film. Oh my gosh, there was so much I missed." And I'm like, "Did we watch the same film?" Because I thought I picked up on all this shit. And
Okay.
I did read
Translation.
one. I read the one on Shadow and Act, and I was like, "Yeah, but none of this is anything that anybody didn't watch this wouldn't pick it up."
Translation. I need to go see this again. Equates to I didn't get it. but other black folks are saying that it was the best thing ever, and I'm scared to say that it wasn't the best thing ever, so I can go back and see what everybody else is saying was great about it.
No, I'm not gonna say it's the best. It was really well done.
It was just good. I just thought it was.
It was a very enjoyable movie.
No, maybe not y'all, but I'm saying the
vast they are saying
that I've talked to.
It's all the blue.
They're just scared to say that they didn't get it and get dragged.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Niecy Nash. But I like Niecy Nash on Instagram. She was like, "Yo, I just need Jordan to come out with a whole synopsis about what the fuck really happened going on in this movie, so we can stop guessing."
But I didn't think it was that. See, this is okay. This is my theory on all this. I think this is a result of people's pre-existing thoughts about this film.
We ain't talking about shit.
So many people thought this film was going to be a whole bunch of different things.
Oh, definitely.
And they went to this
a lot of people that I know thought it was going to be like Get Out, which I never saw Get Out.
Yes,
thought it was going to be,
No, he's right. A lot of people thought it was going to be like Get Out. A lot of people thought they were going to go watch this film and it was going to be all these messages and all these hidden subliminal things. And it wasn't. It was a pretty straightforward horror flick with a single... There was a couple underlying messages. Like they had a message about greed. They had a message about selfishness and things like that. But the whole point of it was a single underlying message on privilege and classism, essentially. And they used a straight horror flick to do that. And it was very straightforward. And I think people got in their mind that, oh, no, it can't just be this simple.
Or horror films can't be this.
I'm missing something. I don't understand this. And because they don't want to just see what it is. They're like, and this, I'm not talking about you, Rashanii. I'm just talking about people in general. I don't understand this. I'm missing something because it can't possibly be just as simple as what it was, which it was just as simple as what it was. To me, it was a very even, straightforward film. I thought it dragged a little bit in the middle of the film.
What part? What? Like,
well, I just thought there was part of the film where I'm just waiting because I think for somebody like me and Rashanii, and you to a certain extent, but especially somebody like me and Rashanii, people like us who see so many movies
that were jaded as fuck.
You pick up these things early in the film,
right?
So you're just waiting to see how they get there, and you're just like, get to it, get to it.
So
get to it.
Would you say what when they actually went to the friend's house, Lupita's friend's house?
No, that part was fine because that whole point was the part about the greed, right? So throughout the movie, Winston Duke's character was constantly comparing himself and his family to the white family.
Yeah. Oh, that dude definitely had a gun. I would have gone there too. Been like, yo, give me guns.
He got a better car than us. They got a better house. And then he was like, I got this boat because what's-his-face got a boat. And then he was like, I need to get a backup generator because what's-his-face got a backup generator. And then when they went to the white family's house, the white family they had the Alexa, they had the bolted doors, they had all the technology. He's chilling, drinking. And his wife comes down, and he's like, "Honey, we got everything in the world that we need." And then immediately after that, they all get killed, right? Because the point of that was to show that, like, yeah, you can have everything, but the same shit can happen to you if things don't break the right way. So it's basically saying the privileged folks can have this bad shit happen to them if one thing goes awry. And then they had the thing with the wife who was jealous of Lupita. Because Lupita is fucking gorgeous.
And her skin didn't need any touch-ups.
And the wife was like, I had to get this work done, but your face looks good. She said in such a patronizing way.
Yeah.
And then when the doppelganger was there, she was trying to cut Lupita's face, and then she ended up cutting her own face because she still realized that her face ain't fucking with Lupita's face. And so she was still jealous. Even both of the doppelgangers were jealous in that sense. So, like, but that wasn't the part that dragged. It was just like, you know, like, I like how, before I get to what drag, I like how they mixed up some of the different tropes. Like, when you watch the trailer of this film, you probably think the home invasion is going to be the bulk of the film.
I did.
Like, you're thinking,
I thought that.
You thinking that's going to be the bulk of the film. And it wasn't. It was, what, like 15 minutes? Like, the home invasion was like 15 minutes.
In the beginning of the movie, pretty much, too.
And it wasn't the beginning of the movie. There was a whole backstory in the beginning of the movie, which I thought was done really well. I like how at the end of the film that she was able to give her whole villain monologue, and because that's the one thing I want to go back to watch the film. because I've heard that she basically explains everything in that monologue.
In the house, in the monologue, in
but
the house.
people are so entrenched on like all the ancillary things going around in that scene that people aren't paying attention to what she's
because
saying.
there's a lot happening, you know.
There's
Like
a lot happening. There's a lot happening in that scene. Rashanii, no, let's go to Mike because Mike is interested in this film. So, Mike, if somebody doesn't watch horror films, how long did it take you to figure out what was going on in the film?
I didn't realize she got switched
until you saw her get
until
killed.
I saw
Yeah.
well, I figured it out once she went back into the House of Mirrors at the very end. Like,
okay.
Then I thought back and I was
you mean
like,
when
wait.
they
showed her,
literally grabbed her and took her underground?
No, I'm sorry. At the chalkboard scene that's when I think I figured it out. Because I remember I figured it out before they showed it, and but there was me thinking I was a little smart.
So
I figured it out a few minutes.
There was the little girl not talking. There was Red or Adelaide actually talking when she came up because none of the other doppelgangers could talk, but she could talk. Then there was the scene where the little girl was in the...
It was a scene where she was in therapy and the mom and dad were in therapy and she was sitting outside playing with toys.
No, they were talking
and overheard them talking about how she's different and she won't talk and she's not stupid.
Yeah.
So she hears them say, well, just keep talking to her and she'll come around. Well, she's not talking anymore. We're worried because she's not speaking. She used to talk all the time. And she was like, oh, shit, I better hop on this bike and start pedaling. And so she learned how to talk.
And then when old girl got thrown off the car and was stuck in the bushes, she went over there and, like, was compassionate about her. And because she was compassionate about her because she was like, I was down there once as a little girl. And I wish everybody else could have the chance to come up and experience life the way that I experienced life.
That shit was crazy to me. Like, 'cause, like I was just like, why is the pause? Because if that's the little girl that tried to kill your daughter, you're gonna kill her.
And then the ultimate scene was at the end when she killed Adelaide. She did that growl like everybody else does, like just a primal growl that just came out of her naturally after she did that. And that's how the little boy found out. That's how her son figured it out, was that growl. And so that's why when they got back to the car, she looked at him and he knew at that point.
That shit was crazy. Because I'm thinking, like, how long did he know? Like, did he figure out when he got snatched?
No, he figured it out right then when she did that growl.
Okay.
Unless they,
I felt like he knew, like, when she snatched him.
No, she didn't know that. He didn't know then. He knew with that growl. So, Rashanii, if they were to do another film
sequel.
not a sequel necessarily, but just another film in the Us universe, would you be willing to give it a chance to see if they can fix some of the plot holes or make a better film?
Is Lupita still in it?
So you did. All right, awesome.
Let's say no. Let's say Lupita's not in it.
Probably not.
Wow.
Probably not. Because look, Lupita's acting is like shrimp remoulade.
What the fuck is that?
Over rice.
Oh.
With just a wonderful fragrant, just everything about it is just awesome. Everything about it is just memorable, and the palate is cleansed, and it just everything that you want to satiate it.
Lupita is an actress that I swear to God I would freeze if I met her in person.
And the rest of that movie, other than that atomic family, the rest of that movie was, first of all, another question. Okay. So when they're stop playing OJ, as she runs around the car and then the other girl ducks under the car,
that was
jump
dumb.
on top of the car. And how didn't she see the car move when she jumped on top of the car? But that's neither here nor there, because if somebody gets up on top of a car, you're going to hear a car go, eek, eek. But neither here nor there. Anyhow, when the white guy comes out and says, "The fuck you doing to my car?" Why'd she kill him?
It makes sense.
She's not supposed to kill him. That's not her job.
No. Okay, so that's a great question.
That's why I was confused.
What I got from that was that a lot of the people under there just had primal instincts to kill. I mean, that's what I got from it. or he thought that the white guy was going to stop her from achieving her goal, and so she had to eliminate him so she could achieve her goal. Because you got to remember, these are primitive creatures. Most of them. I would assume that Lupita's character wasn't the only one in the whole country. I think that's just our point of view character. But they did make a point to say that she was special compared to the rest of them.
They really popped up like Chud because of a siren call. Did they play telephone across that?
But that's
like,
right.
How
You're
did
right about
everybody
that.
know to come
on the
up?
Same
I
day.
can't get past that.
On the same 2 days. Or is it 2? Are we going to say it's 2
Exactly.
days or 3 days? Like,
because when she went down there to fight at the end, it was completely empty. Everybody got the message.
Yes. Well,
I can't get past that. I can't walk through that.
She explained it.
She explains it. Look, she explains it. Yes, she explains it. She explains it. She explains it. What if there was a guy sitting right next to me yelling about double tapping bitches and I missed it? What if my beloved is saying, yo, get me some more popcorn or I'm walking out this joint and I missed it?
Oh, she didn't
damn.
like it either?
No, Nisha didn't go. She didn't go. Because it was right after we got back from that from the first day of the Oakland tournament.
Okay.
So she was tired. And other things. Like
I do think you're right.
You
about
could have
one
went, but
thing.
you talked your way out of it and then tried to talk your way back in.
I do think
Girl, she stayed home to make dinner. Yeah. But look, here's the thing to me. I'm not saying spoon feed me. I'm not a stupid person.
No,
I'm not. I've been watching more than enough movies over the past 2 years to where I'll pick up something pretty quick. I'm not somebody who needs to be handheld or anything like that. But to make your movie purposely just vague and obtuse just to be edgy is a shitty thing to do.
it is.
Especially if it doesn't all connect at the end, and there's things that really didn't connect. The reason why, and I know you're smarter than the average bear professor, but the reason why they wrote think pieces because they didn't know what the fuck was going on.
No, I think they wrote think pieces because people like to sound smart.
Because they wrote think pieces because people didn't know what the fuck happened. You know what you didn't see think pieces about? Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
No, but we did see think pieces about Get Out, and people loved that film. And
Yes.
there were a million think pieces.
But there were also probably a million. I know a bunch of white people who didn't understand what Get Out was about at all.
No, and there's a bunch of people who went to this film and thought it was just a horror film. That it was like this doppelgangers. Somehow these clones of people came up and tried to kill them, and we had to stop them from killing the clone. I guarantee you
that's
a large
true.
percentage of people that went to this film and didn't get any single other thing out of the film except there was some scary, creepy people that lived.
But I think that's cool. I think that's okay, though.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But when Get Out came out, Rashanii, you remember this? There were people like, look at the pictures on the wall. Oh, pay attention to the clothes they were wearing. Oh, look at this specific scene and how his eyes were looking. Like there were articles about every little thing in that film. And I think what happened was
Get Out.
Jordan Peele admitted that a lot of those things were true. But then, remember the thing with the Fruit Loops and Get Out, where they separate the Fruit Loops from the milk? And everybody's like, oh, that's an allegory for race. And they asked Jordan Peele, he was like, actually, I just thought it'd be creepy if somebody ate this cereal like that. That's what he said. But people went all the way to, oh, see, look how racist she is. She won't even eat their Fruit Loops with the same colors.
And the thing is, here's the thing. Why? Yes, that all happened. And you know who saw all that happen? Jordan the fuck Peele saw all that happen. So you know what he did in this next movie? He did it again. It's like when my kid farts in the middle of a gym and everybody laughs because they hear it. What do you think he's going to do to get laughs next time? He's going to fart again. And it may not have the same results. This movie was a fart. He tried it twice. This time, it didn't have the same effect. Some people understood it was supposed to be this. Other people didn't. And a lot more people didn't than did, but they're scared to say that they didn't.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what I'm seeing from this whole thing is that there's a whole lot of people out there on social media who are scared to say that they don't get shit. They just want to act fake smart.
Yes. Yes.
That is the whole point about all the think pizzas and everything.
100%.
Yeah.
People want to act fake smart. Or people just don't want to feel like they can't say they
Left out.
Yeah, they left out. Or here's the thing. I will say this. I don't think this is a bad. I don't see how somebody can say this is a bad movie.
I can't say it's a bad movie. All I said was
no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about general. But I can say how someone can say this film is missing something, or you can say this film doesn't go far enough to explain things, or this film is purposely vague. And I don't want to go. Like if somebody said, I don't want to go to a film where I have to create my own interpretations in my mind to figure out what's happening. That is a legitimate complaint because you shouldn't have to work at a film. It's like you shouldn't have to go to a film to study. You should be able to go to a film and get something out of it.
This is
I was shocked personally because I thought everybody saw what I saw, and apparently it wasn't that consensus, which means it must have been more vague.
Well, whoop-de-fucking do. Here's what happened, Brandon. You just lived a real-life version of the Emperor's New Clothes.
Dead ass. That's real. That's real.
Literally. You sat there and saw the Emperor was naked and everybody else was talking about the clothes he had on.
Yeah.
You feel better about it that you saw the Emperor was naked?
Shit.
No, you don't.
No.
Now you're wondering why nobody else saw what you saw. That's how that kid ended up in the story too.
But
Like,
I think
why
that's
anybody
cool,
else
though.
the Emperor's naked?
I think it's cool because it starts a dialogue and it makes people excited about the next film. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but see, Devin, you're not on social media. You don't see what Rashani's
I'm not on
talking
Twitter.
about.
Yeah, but I know
You're
what you're
not
talking
on
about.
Twitter.
Yeah.
First of all,
they did this mangy about it.
They did this marketing campaign where they basically got every black blue check mark on Twitter to see the film early.
Mm-hmm.
So all the journalists, like all the celebrities, they were doing all these screeners across the country so they could see the film early, so that they could go out
Us
and hype
first,
the
yeah.
film up.
Yeah.
Which is smart marketing. It's brilliant marketing. That's why the film's doing so well at the box office. Part of it. But as a result of that, like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the film came out, there was so much. This film is so fucking amazing. Jordan Peele is a horror genius. He's Alfred Hitchcock in 2019.
Him in Twilight Zone. Oh my God, he's just already showing what he can do with this movie. And it's like, no, the fuck.
I will say, this movie to me was scarier than It, which was the last horror movie I saw. I didn't think it was scary at all. I laughed more at It than I did. This was creepier.
This shit was
creepy as shit.
Here's the thing.
Lupita was creepy.
I'm not scared at, like, if you're just trying to be all out scary, jump scares, that doesn't scare me. But if you're creepy, that gets under my skin and scares me more than, like, It, I would never be scared of It. That is the most implausible thing. A demon clown, that's not scary.
The faces the doppelgangers are making with.
Oh my God. That little boy's mouth being burnt the fuck up like that shit, when he just takes his mask off and like the other little boy looks at him like, oh,
the noises that kid made, though, that was scary. It was not scary. I laughed way more. I mean, people in my theater at It were laughing. I mean, this was creepy.
How did people in your theater like the film, Mike? Could you tell they liked it or not?
There wasn't a lot of people at my showing because we went right after work at a 5:20 showing.
Oh, okay.
So there really wasn't a lot of people there. We went on Monday. So
our show was sold out.
Little after. I mean, I'm sure. I know that it was, the weekend showings were packed, but I couldn't go, so I went to Monday.
I saw this film with a bunch of black people.
I
feel like that.
No, you don't, because that's what happened to me. That's the other thing about this movie. It's like it felt like niggas wanted it to be fucking sing along with The Rock, and it's not.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you just got to sit back and just take in the movie for what it's worth, and you want to make it into an interactive experience. Bitch, this is not the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I don't even know what that is, but it was funny.
Oh, it's a scary movie. Oh my God, you don't know? Oh my
He's so
God.
young. Oh my God.
Like, I have no desire to hear you talk about the fucking time warp. Like, there's no reason why you're doing this. Like, why? Why are you talking? You're not the star. And so I think that Get Out was an amazing opportunity for a black director to show what the world can be if you just give us a chance to shine. I think that Us was an opportunity for a director to show what happens when they have all this power, like all this acclaim in front of them, and nobody wants to tell them, look, maybe you should look over this one more time. It's kind of vague. Like, I don't know if you're trying to be purposely vague. And that's the thing. Like, if anybody else is vague in their life, you fucking hate their guts.
It was vague.
I'm not gonna say that. I mean,
really, if you have a niece or a nephew who come up to you and say, Uncle Devin, and you're like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, never mind. And you're like, no, really, what? And they're like, nothing. And you're like, no, you already called my fucking name. What do you want?
I get that.
And they're like,
I think that's a
nothing.
Thing, I think that's a parent thing.
I also think there's a level of expectation for this thing where, like, I looked at it as like a sci-fi thriller. So
yeah,
like,
that's what. I didn't even put it in.
So when I go watch sci-fi films, like, they don't explain a lot of shit in sci-fi films. You just kind of got to go with it.
Well, I kind of give horror movies a pass for some of the logistics behind them. Like, you can't. It's too hard to explain up to a lot of this. So I mean, I kind of agree with Brandon. You can't really
watch Candyman or Freddy Krueger or anything. I could be like, well, how do they even fucking exist? And then
you could, and I wouldn't be mad at you for asking that question.
That would destroy the whole film. Like that was.
But I wouldn't be. But I wouldn't be mad at you for asking that question because it's a legitimate question. Which is why I'm glad that you're not saying, you know what, you're full of shit, Rashanii, because these are all legitimate concerns. They're all legitimate questions. So I'm saying, like, a think tank. Like, he could have previewed this and been like, yo, who has questions about this movie? And then realized people had a ton of fucking questions.
But I think it's better to let them say.
I think he did preview it and people loved it.
But they didn't know what they loved. They just loved.
They just love the idea of love.
Because it's a great story. Like, again, it's a great story that has some holes in it.
It's a good concept because I'm tired. You know, what's dominating the horror market right now is like demon and like possession and demonic. Like, it's old.
Happy death day to you. That's what's dominating, right?
Happy Death Day to You was great, but come on, Rashanii, that had so many holes in it.
Yeah. I'm joking, bro. I'm joking, absolutely.
No, but we loved that film.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you loved that film. It was great. But see what you're saying about this film. I'm glad you're saying about this film because he set a standard where you should ask these questions. What an idiot would say is, "How come you don't ask these questions about Happy Death Day?" And I'm like, because it's Happy Death Day.
Because it's fucking Happy Death Day, bro.
That's why you don't ask these questions about Happy Death Day. Jordan Peele.
Which reminds me, I get a free copy of Happy Death Day because I saw Us. For seeing Glass, Us, and Happy Death Day, I get a free digital copy of all three.
Oh, really?
So which one of y'all want Us?
Oh,
because I don't need it.
You know I want it.
You know Brandon. That's all Brandon.
You know I want it. So okay, so we talked a lot about this film. And so I'm really scared to hear this.
Wait, Devin, I feel like you had something else that you wanted to really get out there. What piqued your interest?
I mean, I just think it's one of those things where you want to be vague when you keep the people wanting more of the stuff you bring. You know, like everybody wants to know what he's gonna do next, and M. Night Shyamalan had that same shine and glow to him for a while, and he kept disappointing us. But Jordan hasn't disappointed us yet. So, I mean, I think that builds on his mystique and, like, what is next for him. And we got Twilight Zone coming out next from him, and then he's already working on more stuff. But they're excited about his next project. So, I think it's something to be said about that.
I actually think Twilight Zone is going to be really good. But here's the thing. I actually think the biggest thing in this film that's throwing people off is the Hands Across America thing.
It threw me off.
I think people in general are caught up on what the fuck does that mean? And so it makes them question what any of it means because it seems like that's such a central role in the film. When, in my opinion, it's not.
Nothing,
It's just...
Which the last thing she remember,
To me, it's just the last thing a little girl remembers being a big deal before she got sick and underground. So in her world... like, that's still a fucking big deal.
Right, and that's what I need to do.
In order to make a message when her people that she's leading comes above ground, she's going to do the big deal. The thing that's a big deal, that was a big deal when the last time she was above ground.
So how did everybody feel about?
Very simple.
How did you feel about the scissors being the symbol for the tether or to cut the tether? Then everybody had a pair of shears. Like, what the fuck was that about? You know?
See, that was one of the things I didn't like about the film. Like, I just thought that was like so in the nose. Like, it's just okay. I get it.
Right.
Like, okay, I mean that's fine. You got scissors. A lot of people, I've seen people talk about, oh, having the scissors was such a brilliant idea, and I'm like, it couldn't be more straightforward.
Let's kill a motherfucker, yeah.
Like it couldn't be more straightforward with everybody having the scissors. The scissors are creepy as fuck.
As fuck.
But it couldn't be.
And the way they were carrying them shits, like, and you're not really cutting anything, you're just killing people with it. Like, I mean.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask Rashanii. I know. See, doing a lot of these reviews with Rashanii, I know how to get certain things out.
Okay.
I know how to get certain things out.
You're a professional now. You do that.
You do that shit. I guarantee you, I'm gonna get something positive out of Rashanii right now. Rashanii, what'd you think about the music in this film?
Look, okay, so fuck you, bro. Look, when they were getting killed to Good Vibrations, that was fucking incredible.
Amazing,
and also,
right?
I just want to point out the fact that, look, Jordan Peele, he knows how to pull your strings. He knows how to pull your tether, for what it's worth. And
Dad joke.
As soon as y'all heard I got 5 on it in the trailer, half of us were gonna go see the movie just to see how that fit into the movie. Half of us. Like, I'm sure that the Loonies saw such a boost in their Spotify listens and title from that trailer that they're just like, how can we ever repay you, Jordan? That the soundtrack was incredible. It always is if a black director puts out a bad soundtrack, it'll be the first time.
Right. But also, you probably thought of certain scenes when you're going to hear the I Got 5 on it, the creepy one.
And they didn't,
but I thought when they played it at the end of the film was perfect. Like, I thought that fit that scene perfectly. And given the fact that she was like a dancer, and so the final fight scene was like a ballet, and they were playing that in the background, and it like the bumps were like hitting like the ballet moves perfectly in the fight. I thought that was like unbelievably choreographed.
Shout out to Brandon. We went and saw this in Adobe Theater, and when I tell you sound matters for these movies.
You ever been to Adobe Cinema, Rashanii?
No, it sounds like something that would be wonderful if they. All we got out here is Regal and Cinemark.
You got the IMAX though, right?
Yeah, and Regal.
Yeah, Regal IMAX. Okay.
But yeah, this Dolby shit, man. Like the sound, you could feel the I Got 5 on it, the remix toward at the end, and it just told a story without even. I could even look at them. They could have been like just dancing, and you still would have had the same thing play out if you saw it. Like it was beautiful. It was great cinematography.
That was my favorite scene of the film. Like honestly, the final fight scene with the music and the setting in the classroom, it was just like that. I just really.
So also okay, so about the fight scene, the last fight scene, like so she kills the wrong doppelganger, right?
What do you mean the wrong?
Okay, the one that wasn't body snatched. Because that's the one that died, right? The body snatch.
Yeah, Red killed Adelaide.
Yeah.
Red killed Adelaide, yeah.
So her son, she hugged her son like everything was cool.
Yeah, that was the best part to me.
And that shit got me good.
Like, I know who you are.
You
ain't my mama.
Yeah.
But it is his mama.
Right.
Exactly.
But it is his mama. But it's not.
Yeah.
At the same time, yes. That part was very interesting because like all them kids are her actual kids.
So she loved them. Like that's the shit that fucked me up right there. Like I wasn't ready for how that received because she went there like when the movie showed the progression of her killing the Adelaide and Red living and going to hug her son, and it was all good.
What I want to see when I go back is somebody said they explained why some of the doppelgangers mirrored the people above ground, why some didn't. Like they explained that somewhere in the film, but I think I just missed that.
I think it's because of the drugs and shit. Like they it was.
No, it's not because of drugs, but like like when Red was talking, when Adelaide was talking, she was like, when you had a C-section, they had to cut the baby out of my so everything that was happening to her was happening to her down
Right,
there.
but they split her in half.
But they said that your body can split in half, but there's only one soul, and so. They further explained it, but somebody said I was reading on Twitter that they explained this part, but I missed it. So I think there's certain things that you should go back and see.
It's 11:11 on the West Coast.
Thank you again, Mike, for staying up so late. We're about to finish this. But
anything for you guys.
I went to. That's so sweet. I do agree with Rashanii though. Like if somebody told me, I shouldn't have to go to a movie and think I have to see it twice. And I'm like, that is a legitimate critique. And then other people will go, I love that I have a movie that I want to go see twice because it's so
thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah.
So I can see.
You know what the last movie is that I went and saw twice? Captain Marvel. You know how much I had to stop and think about stuff that I saw? Never. I just went because I liked the movie.
I mean,
I shouldn't have to go back because I missed something.
Movie.
I shouldn't have to take a test twice because I missed parts of it.
I mean,
I shouldn't have to. Period.
If you didn't pass for proficiency and you have to pass for proficiency,
I passed. I passed the test. I made it all the way through.
I mean, but you didn't get 100. Maybe you want to. You're a perfectionist. You want to get 100.
I mean, I didn't even go back and see The Sixth Sense twice.
I mean,
I feel like it's
that's a long.
I saw Inception twice.
I went and saw Inception twice. Yeah,
I absolutely saw Inception twice.
Because I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I still don't get it all the way. No,
a million times. I swear to God, I still missed some stuff in that film.
I saw Scott Pilgrim versus the World twice.
Oh my God, it's so good! It's so good.
And that was about it. Like I can't see myself going back to see a movie to get enlightened.
Here's the funny thing. I guarantee you, I don't think this is going to be your movie ever, but I guarantee you, if it comes on Netflix and you put it on one night when you're just chilling in the house by yourself and you just watch the film, I guarantee you'll like it better.
I agree.
Oh, I'm sure I can.
But I don't think this is going to be your film, and that's okay. So that's fine. Like that's the other thing about the internet. It's like people. That's what Rashani's talking about. Because people know. Because here's the thing: if people went on Twitter and just went, "Yeah, I didn't like that film." If you have any type of following, like if you have 5,000 or more followers, right, just something a number like that, your mentions are going to blow up. Especially if you're black. White people, and if white people say it, here's the thing: if white people say I didn't like that film, they're going to get called all types of races. You just racist. You don't like the film about the starring a black woman, the centering a black woman by a black director, and I bet a lot of that is probably true.
Yeah,
but a lot of it is. I know there's some some well-meaning white person is just like, yeah, but I just didn't like the movie because I was confused.
I didn't get it, guys. I just didn't get it.
They can't say it. All right, so let's get out of here so Mike can get some sleep. What do you give this film out of 10, Mike?
7. No, 6.5.
Okay. Devin?
I'm gonna go with an 8. I enjoyed it.
Rashanii?
I don't even know yet.
Okay.
Honestly, it's somewhere in the middle. It's either a 5 or a 4. I haven't even decided yet. I think it's going to be a 5.5.
Okay.
Because of how well Lupita acted, but she couldn't cover all bases, and there were just too many questions. Like, I don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to walk away with questions. I want to walk away knowing. I want to walk away and be able. If somebody tells me, tell me what the best part of this movie was, I don't want to look at them blankly and then
you sound so traumatized.
I am, because Mike, I promise you, Brandon can tell you, I've been looking forward to this movie for so long. For so long.
Oh, you had to be disappointed?
I'm heartbroken. Bro, like, seriously, it hurt me how much I didn't like this movie. Like, I wanted to like it because I like Jordan. I liked Get Out. I like what he does. I like his wife. I like everything that he does. And to not like this, like, I felt like Jason Whitlock.
He was Jason Whitlock.
He was. Mike, do you know who Jordan Peele's wife is?
Nope.
It is.
Well, what's her name?
It's Chelsea.
Chelsea Peretti.
Oh,
yes.
I love Chelsea
You
Peretti.
do. I know you do. Gina Linetti is Jordan's wife.
I follow her on Twitter.
I was on
she's
Twitter,
hilarious.
and Rashanii told me he didn't like the film, and I was like, okay. And I got on Twitter, and somebody retweeted like Jason Whitlock, who I fucking hate. I hate Jason Whitlock. He's so trash. And Jason Whitlock was like, Us is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I screenshot it, and I said, Rashanii, look at the company you're in right now. Does this make you feel proud?
Wait, who's Jason Whitlock?
Jason Whitlock.
He's a horrible person.
He's a horrible person.
Sports commentator. Sports personality.
Black person who hates other black people and is basically tap dancing for white people on Fox.
Look, about 3 years ago, I did a podcast because Jason did a story about how black folks don't need to be in white fraternities. And I did a podcast referencing it, and I dragged him from here to Jamaica. And then on Facebook, I typed about how, what the show was about and said, let's give Jason some of the same hate that we give these other folks we're getting mad at, and didn't put his name in bold or anything. I'm not a friend of his, so it wasn't like his name showed up and it wasn't like he was tagged. He went searching for his name and found my comment and found my post.
And blocked you?
And no, he said, it seems that you misrepresented my article. Sorry to hear that. To which point I came back and said, stop searching for your name on Facebook, you troll. And that's Jason Whitlock in a nutshell. He's a horrible person who is completely insecure when it comes to black folks. I think he wants us to like him. He just doesn't know how.
He's horrible.
I wanted to like this movie. I just didn't know how.
He's horrible, and him and Rashanii have the same opinion. So take that.
I wanted to like this movie. I just honestly didn't know how. It didn't come together for me.
No, that's fine.
So I'm going to give it a 5.75.
Okay, I'll take that. I give it an 8. I thought Lupita was fantastic.
She was.
She definitely does. I'm not saying she's going to win because I need to see all the rest of the films, but she deserves to be on nomination. I don't think there's going to be 10 other performances this year better than that. I just don't think so. I think you should go see this film and have your own opinion about it as our recommendation for that. And
Hey, well, I guess it's not that funny. Never mind.
My recommendation, honestly, is when you go see this film, don't tell anybody that you're going to see this film. Just go and see the film. If it makes sense to you, good. If it doesn't, okay.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Okay. But don't let the rest of social media know what you're doing, because then you might find yourself being drawn into the vortex of having to act like something that you didn't see was something that you saw. And you should accept this film on its own merits. I accept this film as a brilliantly acted role by Lupita and also Winston and the young ladies who played Lupita and her daughter and the boy too, because of the whole Growling Pluto thing. That was dope. The family was amazing. But like I said, there's no way to tell the entire United States of America underground that we're going to all come up on this day and murder people. And what if your person moved to another town? I guess you went with them. I guess you had to follow where they went to because they had
they left the country.
I think they were linked somehow.
They have to be linked because
their
shirts were reversed.
They were eating the rabbit when they were eating the food up top. So I think they're linked. So if they moved across the country, you move across the country, and so you're right
You
under.
better walk your ass. You gonna walk your ass. You gonna walk your ass in these tunnels.
I don't know, Mike. What if they fly off? I don't know.
They probably just die or something. Well, the roller coaster thing, they just shook. They didn't move though. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's a scene where they're on the roller coaster, and then the ones on the ground were just shaking vigorously, like they were seizing or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's just there's questions. 5.75. That's it.
So, did you guys like the killing? At least, I mean, I like the killing aspect. There was a lot of surprise kills.
Man, that scared the shit out of me. Did you see my text? I sent you what I drew last night.
Yeah, no, Mike's picture was very good. It's a great Tony Stark.
And then I fell asleep to Friends.
Damn, that's some white shit.
So white.
God
man.
damn, that's some
God.
white shit.
That is the whitest
What is
way
this
out.
happy place, goddamn? God.
Okay, Rashanii.
Listen,
before we
I
get out
don't
of
see
here-
horror movies. I saw it because you guys wanted me to see it for the podcast.
Before we get out of here, Rashanii, what do you have coming up on single simulcast this week?
You know
Or are
what?
you doing Dream Team? Or are you doing Unburdened? What you got coming up?
You know what? I don't even know. Like this past week, we did really the damn whole episode, like 3/4 of the episode, we're talking about how parents need to stop forcing their kids to go to college. Like that's what I took away from these white people and this scandal about them paying their way into college, is that Olivia Jade, Shantae said it best. Olivia Jade already had a company that was booming, and her mom fucked it up for her because she forced her to go to college. So we talked about that this upcoming week. I have no clue. There's going to be so much fuckery happening. Cardi B's already talking about how she drugged and robbed niggas when she was a stripper. So
I mean, it's safety, man. It's all about safety, right?
Well, she did that, and it's kind of fucked up. It's fucked up. But then, of course, because men have to be the worst, because we have to be the worst. A bunch of men are on Twitter and are like, yeah, that's the same thing as when we slip a roofie and rape a girl.
yeah,
God,
dudes suck.
Like,
Which is why I'm going to make sure that I don't say much about it, and Shantae's going to talk her happy ass off, which I'm waiting for. Because Shantae's thoughts...
Oh,
Shantae,
yeah, happy birthday to Shantae. Her
Today
birthday
is
was last week.
Yeah.
her birthday was last week, and just... If y'all want to buy her a Sephora gift card, go for it. If I can ever get my beloved wife and Shantae on the same show again, I don't think I would stop smiling for the next 3 months.
Oh.
Because no, nigga, not an all statement. Like their takes are so hot and yet so sinisterly subtle and petty that it would just take the side of your face off. I am positive. They are so searing and so cutting, it will just be brilliant. But it'll probably never happen. Single simulcast will be out this Friday, though. I know that much. Unburdened and the Dream Team are on a shaky when I can, because Sundays I'm usually out coaching a basketball game. So, but I always love stopping through here. It's like coming home. And hopefully the next big movie that we all see, I'll be able to stop through and actually talk with y'all about it.
We gonna watch that. We gonna watch it.
So this is what we got coming up. Let me see. What is it? March. We're about to be in April.
Ooh, Shazam.
Oh, we did
already
it.
saw it.
Yeah.
We did our review.
Oh,
We saw it early. But
I know you did. You texted me about it.
I'm sorry. Okay,
Endgame.
this is what we got. We got Pet Sematary, another scary movie.
Nope, I'm done for a while. Sorry, guys.
Mike,
Yo.
you saw it. It's by the same guy. It's the same.
Yo.
Oh, or maybe it won't be that.
No.
What is that one
Fuck
about?
no, Mike. Do not listen to this man. That shit looks so fucking scary. Like it's so scary.
We got Hellboy.
Hellboy should
Yeah.
be decent.
We got the Best Enemies film. That's gonna get a lot of think pieces. Did you get that preview, Rashanii? The one with
No.
Taraji P. Henson and the KKK dude, Sam Rockwell playing the KKK dude.
Yeah, I
That shit look
saw
good.
it, and you know what? No,
You tag it?
no.
Hey, I just want to see the real people interact. I don't even want to see these
Little. That should be funny.
actors. That should be good. At least Easter eggs in there. I support it.
Actually, I kind of want to see that movie. It looked funny. I saw a preview for it at us.
I saw some think pieces about Little too, and I'm just like, y'all niggas don't have no joy in life.
Exactly.
It's just no joy. Like, like how the sexual agency. I'm like, that's not what they're doing in this film. It's a okay. Then you got Avengers Endgame, of course. Of course. Yeah, so we got some stuff coming up. Oh, Dumbo. Are you going to see Dumbo?
Not fucking with it.
I don't think I need to.
Okay.
And you know what? Honestly, when y'all do your review of it, just add my voice into the beginning and say, I don't think they should have made it into a live movie, because now they're taking away from the fact that the entire cartoon was about animals. Dumbo the crows, the mouse,
They could have
the
done
mom.
that, though. They could have done animals because they're doing the Lion King. Ain't gonna be no fucking people
Exactly.
in that.
But instead, they put a lot of white people at the forefront of this movie, which pissed me off.
And the last thing before we get out of here, we had to end it on a funny note. Rashanii, take a guess what Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Funeral score is on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh man, I hope it's a 0.1.
13%.
I gotta go leave a review.
13%. By the way, the audience score is 25%. So, you know.
Yeah, no, fuck him too.
Even
though him going legitimate, I'm okay with him. Like him, I bought Vice. I bought it.
Yeah, Vice. Oh, yes.
And him being Colin Powell in Vice was amazing.
It throws you off the first time you see it, but then then he's good.
Yeah.
I wish did we do a review on Vice? I wanted to do.
We did Vice.
Did we?
I was there for that. I love that movie. I've shown it. I've shown Vice to people who wouldn't usually watch political movies, and they're just like mouth agape, like what the fuck?
So good.
Which is
yeah. So thank you everyone from listening. Make sure you go subscribe to all of Rashani's podcasts, and leave him a 5-star review. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back for another review coming up soon. One of those movies I just brought up. And you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast at. Leave us a 5-star. Oh, yeah, nigga, Rashanii, I forgot. Today, we got Detective Pikachu and John Wick 3 and Aladdin.
Woo!
Oh, yeah.
Yo, Detective, oh, God.
and Aladdin, yep, all three. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, and Ma.
Yo, Ma's going to be everything, yo. Pika.
Looking
Mike,
forward
did you
to
see the
him.
Ma trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks scary.
What?
What? That shit
Looks
look
scary.
That shit look fucking
Looks
funny.
scary.
Hilarious.
And of Godzilla, Kings of Monsters.
And we saw Godzilla for the first time.
May's going to be a busy month. But thank everybody for listening. We'll talk to you later.